All right. So, huge news in the Scream franchise community, fans, everything. Sidney Prescott is back, which I did not think was ever going to happen. I literally, like, when I read it, I was like, no, this can't be true. Like, what is happening? They're actually going to do Scream 7. After all the controversy and stuff, I just accepted that Scream was dead. Like, Ghostface killed it and it was dead, and we weren't going to get a Scream 7. And now Sidney Prescott is coming back. Like, oh my gosh. But this changes a lot of thinking and theories that I've had because obviously it's a new main character. The story can go back deeper than it would have been able to with Samantha Carpenter because she's a newer character. With Sidney Prescott, who knows? Stu Macher may come back. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I have no idea what to expect with this movie. That being said, I've already started brainstorming some things that I would like to see because, you know, I've done this video before for Scream 7, but all of those videos are kind of meaningless now because Samantha Carpenter's not coming back, but that's okay. You don't need to watch those. You can watch this video. We got a new lead. We got Sidney Prescott back. That's okay. I can work with that. Obviously, she's the one who made the Scream franchise, so if anyone gets to close it out, it probably should be her. So I feel like that actually works out. But because she was gone from Scream 6, I literally have no idea what they're gonna do. Like, what is even gonna happen? Like, are her kids gonna be Ghostface? So I'm gonna go over 5 things that I would like to see in Scream 7, 6, 5, we're at 7. 5 things I would like to see in Scream 7, but I'm very curious to hear what other people think about this, so please let me know if you have any ideas of what you think might be in this movie. I'm really just like kind of surprised that there even is going to be one because I had really given up. But here we go. 5 things that I want to see in Scream 7 now that Sidney Prescott is back. My first thing that I would like to see, because I feel like this would be really fun, would to have Mark Kincaid come back and be like her husband, because we know Sidney's married to Mark Kincaid. They have a couple of children, not sure how many. I feel like it would really be fun to have Patrick Dempsey in the movie, not be the killer, because Sidney does not deserve that, but to have him in the movie and have him help Sidney and them to kind of finish it out would be really fun. I just saw Patrick Dempsey. I made a video on it a while back in Thanksgiving, and he literally felt like Mark Kincaid, and I'm like, oh my gosh, can they bring Mark Kincaid back into Scream? Because this would be so much fun, except he better not be the freaking killer, or he better not die, because Sidney does not deserve that. That's not acceptable. But I do want him in the movie helping Sidney, because I think that would be really fun. And I'm not sure who else they would have as the supporting roles. Like, Sidney, there's Gale, there's Kirby, and that's like it. Like, I can't think of anyone else who would like be a supporting role. So why not add him as another supporting role? Like, that wouldn't hurt anything. That would just be so much fun. I think it would be. Maybe some other people don't think that, but I think it would be. The second thing I want to see in Scream, which is more of something I don't want to see, is Sidney, and I think I said this in a video before, but Sidney better not die. Like, if Sidney were to die in this last Scream film, I would probably be, like, never forgiving the franchise and might not like it anymore, because that would be unacceptable. Sidney Prescott doesn't die. That's, like, the one rule, is that she's a survivor. So if they killed her, that wouldn't make any sense. Like, I reject it. Like, this Scream 7 film would not be real because I don't accept that. She needs to live and she needs to defeat Ghostface once and for all. That is her complete arc. If that does not happen, then Scream is incomplete and it will flop. So, sorry. Sidney better not die. The third thing that I want to see in Scream, which I would be shocked if she wasn't in this, but I want to see Gale back. I think her and Sidney working together again, finishing it off. Gale has been in every Scream movie. She deserves to be in that final showdown. I'm expecting them to not make any movies past Scream 7, so I feel like if Gale wasn't in it, that would be a really missed opportunity, but I wouldn't see a scenario where they don't do that, so I'd be really shocked if she didn't return. Kirby I'd also like to see, but that would be more acceptable if she wasn't in it, because I'm worried that if she was in it, she'd die, and I don't really want her to die. But mainly Gale is who I would like to see return. Gale's been in every single one. She's the only character besides the ghost voice that has been in every Scream movie, which is crazy. So I really feel like she should be in this movie, and I'll be really sad if she's not. The fourth thing I want to see in this movie is I want it to kind of go back to the beginning, like so far back, because in Scream 3, Randy gives his rules of like trilogies are all about going back to the beginning and finding out what wasn't true before or whatever. I think this should take that, but on a franchise level. So like it's going back to Scream 1 and telling us something that we didn't know. I think that would be really interesting. Not like changing it completely, just making it more like, oh, this is very serious, like this is the ghost face of all ghost faces. It's going back to every movie and saying something that we didn't understand. I don't know. I feel like it should follow those Scream 3 rules that Randy gave and apply it to the entire franchise. I mean, Sidney is the beginning of Scream, so it should be going over all of her experiences with Ghostface, and that should be the motive of why this person is attacking, not because of like a stab movie or the Carpenters or something. Everything should go back to Sidney Prescott because that's where it all started. So I think that would be a really good tie up the franchise little moment there. I think that would be fun. And then here we go, the last thing that I would like to see, but I'm not sure if they're gonna do it or how it would be done just with the controversy and everything. But I think involving Christina Carpenter would be a really fun idea because she does relate to Sidney in the sense of like Billy was obviously cheating on Sidney with Christina Carpenter. That's a plotline that hasn't really been explored because everything about Christina Carpenter that we know is all involved with Sam and Tara. Like that's all we've ever seen. We've never even seen Sidney really know anything about that. And I think their interaction would be really interesting. And I think having Christina Carpenter would be a great way to tie up the Carpenter story without needing to have the daughters in there. So that we're kind of following her, who's a little bit closer to Sidney's age, and could tie up that Carpenter incomplete story now because the sisters aren't going to be in the movie and make it all come to a good ending. So I think having those different elements of tying together the Carpenters and Sidney and her family and why she's being attacked now and when it started would be a really unique way to end it and just have like the biggest motive of all of them. Because if you're going to end the franchise, you need to do it on a really big note. And like if you're going to make the wild decision to bring Sidney back as the new lead after we already had another lead, you have to make the story worth it. Because it's like maybe it would have just been better for them to go, okay, Scream 6, we're done. But they decided not to do that. So clearly there's something else that they're wanting to add to this story. And it needs to be something worth my time and viewers' times. And people who have been fans for this franchise for like 20 years, fans who are older than me, who have been watching it since it started, need that resolution. So I think that's really necessary when making this film that probably could have been cut, to be honest. But I'm kind of glad they didn't. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Sidney coming back and the new Scream 7 movie. I literally don't know why they're making a Scream 7 because I think we all probably could have just moved on with our lives after 6. But I'm not complaining. I'm obviously a huge Scream fan, so I'm going to be in theaters watching it, and I'm excited to see Sidney back and where she's at because I think this movie will dive deeper into her life now and going to where she is and her family. So I think that's a really fun thing to see. I don't have many other predictions besides those. But yeah, we're getting Sidney back, so that's always fun. Okay, bye.